Fact check.
Oh yeah, because he was 2-1. Now he's 2-5. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just like how I'm right about the fantasy gods thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, because that's a fact, not an opinion.
We already talked about that.
Okay.
That's in the past.
All right.
So then the bottom 3 or 4 are kind of the same. So there's kind of tiers, I would say.
Yes. Well, yeah, and then I mean you got.
Not a ton of moving. I mean, it's week 7.
Yeah, and it probably won't be this week either. We'll get into that. But, I mean, the way you look at it at this point, you figure now Senators and Peril, we're assuming Peril is now a seller. I don't know. It probably depends on when you're listening to this podcast. I think he told me he's going to inform the league soon that he's a seller. So with that being said, assuming that is the case, you get the Loggers, the Alerts, the Senators, and Peril, and Handy Quacks. Really, the 5 teams that are, you would think, out of it are sellers, although Handy Quacks is a little debatable. We talked about that earlier. Then you got, the other, 7? Bub?
7.
Check my math?
Correct.
Yeah,
7.
So Hong Kong, Soul Glow, Pig Newtons, VIP, Bub, Brutal, Riverdale Scoopers, all vying for those 4 coveted playoff spots. You think maybe me and Brutal already maybe have it locked up. I'm not going to say that. So in a way, if you think that, then there's, 4 teams going for those 2 slots.
5 teams.
5 teams, sorry. 5 teams going for those 2 slots. It's going to be a goddamn slobber knocker of epic proportions, is what it's going to be.
It is. I'm excited. I feel good. I feel strong. My team's on a winning streak, so I feel good about my chances. But you never know. Going back to the fantasy gods, it's like 70-30, so I don't know.
Right. Well, yes, or 30-70. But the Scoopers, we do lead the league, 878 points back in week 3ish. So you told me to pump the brakes. I'm not sure. Maybe let me know if I should continue to pump the brakes.
Now we can start looking at all of it.
Maybe I should yield, or maybe get my hand on the emergency brake. Or
no, I think week 3 you should have been stopped almost.
Stop it.
And then now you can proceed.
I can peek over the corner.
You can proceed
gingerly.
I would drive the speed limit.
Driving the speed limit. I've scored 878 points, most in the league. That averages to 125 points per game, which extrapolates to 1,881 points for the entire regular season, which would beat the Guard Dogs record of 1,812. So it only beats it by about 70, and it's we're in the midst of bye weeks, but I'm excited to think that I might be able to get that.
It's definitely a possibility, especially the way your team's going now. So
right.
I think that's a possibility.
And Bub, you've scored 107 more points than Brutal Deluxe.
I know, and I'm 4-3. Bitch.
Now, let's take a look into the future with next week's matchups.
We are officially now halfway through the fantasy regular season, Bub, and in week 8 we go back to playing our outer divisional opponents.
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
Mathematically,
regular season, I said.
after week 7.
Yeah.
So that would mean double that would be after week 14 would be the end.
No. We play 15 regular season weeks in the Dynasty.
And so we're completed 7.
So we've completed 7.
So
we're
that means
towards 8, where it's Tuesday, so technically tomorrow, although there's a Thursday night game. So I'm saying right now, it's 7:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. Okay? And we're heading out of week 7, going into week 8. What?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's math. It's not an opinion, it's math. You should know this. Goddamn Steve Smith. All right, let's take a look at the future. The next week's matchups here. Quite a bit of stinkers here, honestly. Not a lot of games. I mean, Hong Kong going up against the Scoopers, Pig Newtons against Handy Quacks, Bubba against Peril, Soul Glow against Amber Alerts, Brutal against Loggers, and Senators against VIP. I mean, it's almost every good, or contending team going against every non-contending team.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Give me your upset special.
Yes, okay.
Because, I think if we had to pick a game of the week, I guess Hong Kong versus you guys,
well, I think it's probably between Pig Newtons and Handy Quacks. If Handy Quacks is kind of...
He's not. He's going to score 30 points this week.
All right, so Hong Kong and Scoopers are the
That's got to be the game of the week, pretty much. Yeah. That's the only ones that are in contention. So pick me your upset special.
I'm gonna actually, I want to say the Loggers over Brutal, but obviously I just don't see that happening considering what's been going on here. I don't see the Amber Alerts beating Soglo. I really don't see the Senators being VIP. I have a little gut feeling that there might be some sort of trades regarding his team in the works, and he's going to get even weaker. But I guess it's possible. I just don't see that. I don't see Peril beating you, Bub. Does it count if Hong Kong beats me? Is that?
Yeah, that's
all right. Well, I'm going to go with that one because I think according to the CBS projections, he's supposed to beat me. And
he has some good players on his team.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to put money on the line, I would say Hong Kong is going to beat me this week. So I mean, I have confidence in my team. I think I'll win, but I'm just saying if you're going to put a gun in my head and pull the trigger, if I don't pick, I'm going to.
It's tough to pick an upset special this week. I really can't see many upsets.
Yeah, which probably means that there will be every single upset.
I'm sure. I mean, I guess we have to kind of wait to see how it pans out if Peril and Senators are trading anyone.
Right. Right, because if they don't, I could see Senators beating VIP. Right. I could see Peril maybe beating you or whatever.
Absolutely.
All right, Bub. Well, I'm 2-1 against Hong Kong, so I guess we'll call that the game of the week. And let's go ahead and big moment for us. Let's get replacement ref Mike Peak on the line, and we'll see what he has to say about the debauchery of what occurred in the first few weeks of the season.
Booyah!
The Dynasty Podcast brings you an interactive and likely ridiculous segment with borderlines on actual legit media. Buckle up your fucking seatbelts for the Dynasty Podcast interactive segment.
And now, on the Tom Berkowitz Trucking Hotline, I'm very happy to say that we have Mike Peak, who was an NFL replacement referee for the preseason and the first 3 weeks of the NFL regular season. Mike, thanks for being on the show.
No problem, Derek.
Great. Now, Mike, I believe you've been a referee for quite a long time. I think you've reffed some top-level college and high school games, mainly in East Texas where you live. Can you tell us about how you were asked to become a replacement referee and maybe talk about whatever training you may have received?
Okay. If you recall, back in 2001, there was a similar lockout situation back then, and I applied at that time, and I was accepted as a replacement official. Back then, I called one preseason game and one regular season game. Kind of got my foot in the door back then, you might say. Mm-hmm. And then this year, when I saw the lockout was in, I saw the names of some people that I knew from the 2001 that were in charge of the officiating responsibilities there. So I gave them a call and basically told them if they needed some guy on me, I was ready to go. Mm-hmm. And they called me back, sent me the applications, and the process began.
Excellent. And then once that process kind of got underway and maybe you found out that you were selected, was there any, particular training involved, or was it, kind of, get right into it?
Okay, I'll just kind of walk you through the whole thing. Your first training experience was a 3-day training conference in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Half the people went to Atlanta, half the people went to Dallas for the initial training 3-day situation. And at that time, you were given a pretty heavy dose of NFL rules and differences between NCAA rules and NFL rules. Mm-hmm. And we were also given some tests for fitness and endurance and see if you could run and you could do what you needed to do physically to be on the field. So we did some physical tests, we did some mental tests, and we had a whole lot of classroom time in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And then if you made the cut in Atlanta, you were invited to go to another meeting in Dallas. And at that time, you were put on a crew, and you had 2 or 3 days of pretty intense training, so they were getting us ready for the season.
Great. Now, I'm sure this was an experience of a lifetime for you. The first game you did was in Soldier Field there in Week 1, and I think that was when the Colts played the Bears, and then you did the Redskins versus the Rams, and then the highly publicized Monday Nighter game that the Packers and the Seahawks. Mike, looking back at it, what will you remember the most about the experience?